rat and Jim Rat, that rug rat and Jim Rat and the honky tonk man. He went so low as to try to say it was Bob Ehrlich. It was Bob Ehrlich that didn't give the project some tax credits, some state tax credits. So therefore, the Hilton Hotel was in the condition that it was in. That's shameful, man. But most of these hotels that he has championed building, whether it's on the Eastern Shore, whether it's in Western Maryland, have been nothing but a troublesome and a problem for the citizens in the city of Baltimore and in the state of Maryland. And speaking of problem, did I see that the mayor's policy director, the Whitey Bulger, or the Whitey Bulger of Baltimore City, the two-legged white pit bull down there, Ryan O'Doherty, is leaving. Thank goodness. Thank goodness, but he should have been gone a long time ago in terms of his behavior and toward our sister and Comptroller Joan Pratt around the issue of Digicon and around the issue of the phone system and around the issue of Rico Singleton and Digicon, and of course them not bidding out the work, but again giving exclusive contracts to Digicon and then doing it in an illegal way is what we saw with Rico Singleton and others. And then I see Ryan O'Doherty tried to attack an elected official, but your mayor didn't check that two-legged dog, but yet they say if your pit bull bites somebody that you got a right to put that pit bull down. Well, if there ever was a pit bull that need to be put down, there's a couple of them that's been down there in City Hall and some over there at the 200 East North Avenue that I could think about that need to be put down, if you know what I mean, that need to be euthanized in a political way. I don't know about a physical way. Some of you might say, Brother Muhammad, you talk about putting them down in a physical way. No, I would never say that. Not publicly. I would never say that. But if there was somebody that need to be put down in terms of, again, their behavior toward one of our women and their behavior toward an elected official, it would be Ryan O'Doherty. But let me open up the lines. Take your thoughts, questions, comments as we're talking about this weekend review and looking at still the violence in the city of Baltimore. Still the violence in the city of Baltimore and the Baltimore City Police Department, which seems to be turning on itself right now with, again, getting rid of qualified and quantified, perhaps, commanders and others, and then bringing in their young Turks or their young guns, which mean they're young, dumb, and full of dum-dums down there, and they'll only go out and teach the rookies and the cadets how to further go out and violate the citizens' rights under the auspices of, again, fighting crime. So as you heard Baba Dick Gregory talk about stop and frisk in Washington, D.C., stop and frisk in New York City, know that they have nothing on, again, the city of Baltimore, which is ground zero for stopping and frisking the citizens in the city of Baltimore. And so there has to be a federal lawsuit, a state lawsuit, and a class action lawsuit around the issue of, again, unconstitutional and illegal arrests in the city of Baltimore while murders are still going up and shootings are going up, as we saw this past Wednesday as I had Brother Powers and Brother Lou Hobson on, and they'll both be coming back on joining me this week. We're going to do a part 2, and we're going to be doing a town hall meeting and a forum. We're going to go around the city and have these forums with transparency and then, of course, move on with having real movements. So it lets you see some of them ones you think are hard in the street, they soft when they get up in the suites or perhaps when that money comes, man. But let me come to the line as we, again, stop and remember, man, over 100 and at least 60 people that have been killed in the city. And just the other day on Wednesday, again, a brother and sister was shot and killed, again, looking at Dwayne Robinson Webb and his sister Natasha Bates, who was shot and killed. Again, in West Baltimore, man. So, again, we're looking at the number one violent crime city in America, and if not, on the planet right now, in the city of Baltimore. And your mayor seems to be in over her head. Batts is in over his head. And Bernstein, we know, was never even part of this system in the city of Baltimore. And isn't it interesting now that they can use the sheriff and the sheriff deputies, but when the sheriff needs to have a new court building, when City Clerk Frank Conway needs to have a new court building, you can't find Bernstein to stand with you. But now, brother, can you share a deputy? Brother, can you share or spare a deputy is what he's asking. But again, When the sheriff needs a new court building, you can't find Bernstein standing with you, but yet he wants you to come stand with him. You ought to tell him practice what you preach, or go get you some of them Asian Caucasians and put them out there on the street. They'll be up in the courts, but they ain't gonna hit the streets with you. You better bet that. But let me come to the lines, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You on the State of the City.
Assalamu alaikum, brother John Muhammad.
Wa alaikum salam, soldier. Thoughts and comments, brother?
Hey, brother, you ain't lying about that location on Bitter Street with Spinello City.
Yes, sir.
Like a grapefruit league down there.
Yeah, look like a grapefruit league. Look like a bunch of the Oreos players, brother. That's who it looks like that's working down there.
I go through there. I go to next door.
Yes, sir.
Now, I ain't seen not one brother in there.
Right. Well, you think the organizers of the 300-man march maybe want to have a march down Edison Highway and make that left or make that right toward the 3600 block of Biddle Street, maybe?
Well, those organizers come within City Hall. I'm quite sure they're the ones that planned that.
Yes, sir.
Orchestrated.
Right.
Any damn time you can't get family victims can't get a chance to speak. Come on, man.
Right. Yes, sir.
Just like, that's their MO, because when they go to certain radio shows,
right,
they do the same thing. They cut certain radio talk show hosts off. They can't interview them.
Yeah.
That's the same people that sound like to me that orchestrated this thing.
No, clearly, brother, clearly, man. And again, we've been talking about it, so if you know, and I know they listen and monitor the show, so if I said something that wasn't true, they couldn't wait to call in and say, Brother Muhammad, what you saying is not true, man. So,
yeah, I know I would call to defend myself.
Yes, sir. Well, you can't defend the indefensible, brother. All right.
Another thing, brother. I can't believe somebody actually told you to pray for her.
Yes, sir.
Brother Malcolm always said, "Why would you pray for your enemies?"
Enemies or frenemies, brother. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, so appreciate you checking in now.
Yes,
peace.
Sir.
And with that, we'll take more of your calls. 410-761-1592. We can get in. You can get in where you fit in where you get in before we begin to wrap up at about 2 o'clock. Good afternoon, caller. You on the State of the City.
Assalamu alaikum, beloved.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I just called to say that I'm still boycotting this city.
Got you. Yes, sir.
If it ain't black owned, I'm not spending a dime with it.
Right. I agree,
what
brother.
I understand is they understand their pocketbook.
Yes, sir. And that's what we got to do, man. Right.
Yeah, the only thing about it is trying to get black folk to do the same thing.
Well, as you heard DICK Gregory say, man, you would think that with all of the arrests, all of the fleecing of the people, all the stealing and peeling from the people, and the deaths of their children, man, you would think that would be enough for them to want to take that kind of stand. And, it's not just happening to those who are supposed to be poor and those who are supposed to be the working poor. It's happening to those who say they're middle class as well, brother.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
And also, I'm going to let the people down Perkins, I was down to City Hall.
Thank you. Thank you. I was watching online, brother. I was trying to be strategic. You know what I mean? They said Brother Muhammad was riling the people up. You know they do that to me every time I come down City Hall, man. They want to check, Brother Muhammad, can you please be good? Now, why you got to try to flip it on me when all they've been doing is bad, but you want me to come down here and adjust to an injustice and don't say a damn thing?
Yes,
and my spirit won't let me do that.
I just want to let the people know at Perkins Homes, they're not by themselves.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, brother. All right?
They're still standing strong with them.
Yeah, we're going to hopefully try to get some of them on the show soon and very soon. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Assalamu alaikum. And with that, we'll take more of your calls, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City.
Yeah, how you doing, Darren?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. I want to thank you for bringing Bob and Dick back on again, and every weekend you can bring them on, brother.
Every chance I get, brother.
That wealth of knowledge that brother has, and still, can give it to us plain, brother. You know?
Sir. That's right, brother. Yes,
well,
sir.
Let me talk to you about Martin O'Malley in this hotel.
Come on, brother.
Man, it was so funny to see this fool try to put this blame on Bob Ehrlich. If Bob Ehrlich did come out and make a statement, if I was Bob Ehrlich, I would have came out and I said, you know what, Martin?
Right.
I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Because what it looks like to me right now, this $305 million in so-called investment you have ain't worth the paper it's written on.
That's right, brother.
And if I made a decision not to invest in this piece of junk that was downtown,
right,
I'm the one that looks smart,
that's
and
right.
you're the one that's looking stupid right now.
That's right, brother. And
make it plain, brother, for him, you know?
And Councilman Ken Harris, again, man, vindicated from the other side of the grave, man. This thing wasn't going to turn no profit, man. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely.
It was Ken Harris told him the same thing, man. This thing is not going to turn a profit.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. So,
I mean, you know, this is one that he can't run from.
Right.
And no need trying to put the blame on nobody back but yours, Martin.
Yeah. Or he always got a couple of dummies like Sheila Dixon and Stephanie Rawlins, a couple of dum-dums. You know what I mean? They Laverne and Shirley, they treat him like he the Fonz, and they Laverne and Shirley.
Right.
So he can't do no wrong in their eyes, man. You know what I mean?
Out of all the people you're going to try to put the blame on, I was over there laughing, man.
Yeah.
I was laughing, brother. And for me, you know, neither party does anything. But, I mean, every time the Democrats get in some type of problem, they want to blame the Republicans.
When will he grow up, brother? When will he grow up? You understand?
Thank you, brother.
He want to take credit for the prime rate, but not for the crime rate. You understand?
Or
that slime rate when it comes to that $305 million junk bond down there called a hotel or the hotel, brother. But as the old saying, go heard it all before, Martin. You know what I mean?
That's right, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you
man.
checking in. And with that, we'll take more of your calls. 410-761-1592. Get in where you fit in. Fit in where you get in, man. But again, in the words of Sunshine Anderson, make sure you tell O'Malley you just heard it all before, man. But again, let me come back to the line 410-761-1592. But tell that honky tonk man you heard it all before. Tell that mayor you heard it all before. Tell Rod Rosenstein you heard it all before. Tell old Cheryl Goldstein and that Bernstein bear she married to, Greg Bernstein, heard it all before. With that, let me come back to the line, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You on the State of the City.
Hello.
How you doing, my elder?
Wonderful.
Good. Thoughts and comments?
Well, I'll put it this way. I serve a black God. And I want this God to show himself and do the things that need to be done in this city and this state.
Yes, sir.
And that is to, in 7 days, to bring a plague down on the mayor and the governor.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I appreciate it. Strong call. I'll be praying with you, brother. We have a harmonic conversion, man. So, again, I'll send you some energy, positive synergy of energy. You send it my way. We're going to send it around this city, around this state. With that, let me come back to the line, 410-761-1592. But your governor coming with that lame excuse. Talking about it was Bob Ehrlich is the reason why this hotel, $305 million public works project, the largest in the city of Baltimore, is not turning a profit. But again, as I said before, we should take our seniors and our elders that are suffering in many of these senior citizen buildings. You know what I mean? Leo Barrows. I saw the article in the paper today. talking about one of the seniors got hit by a car. He was driving his scooter down there on Utah McMecken. Got hit. Bolton Hill residents demand safer intersections. Not only safer intersections, but safer buildings for our seniors, and we can't get them. Maybe we ought to take our seniors down to that $305 million hotel and occupy, or otherwise they're going to occupy up in those buildings where they now have put people who they know have addictions in the same building and same facilities of our seniors. And I thank, again, Delegate Joe Carter and those in the 41st Legislative District for having meetings and forums with an action plan and follow-up, and thank the Baltimore Brew for writing about those efforts as well. With that, let me come back to the lines, 410-761-1592. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the State of the City.
Good afternoon, Brother Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
I want to know what you think about the police commissioner and his new gun plan. I think he's turning in guns for computers.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's the commissioner's plan. I think it's, as I heard, LaRon Finney, and I think it's Lance Lucas and some others that are doing it. So I think anything that can be done in a positive way to get guns off the street in principle, I'm for. But I'm not for the disarming of our people. So, again, I'm not that they're saying that it's just for blacks, but, they're saying anybody that has a gun or anybody has a weapon. But I think that the other piece that we have to do, again, is deal with all of the ingredients. That's just one of the ingredients. But, again, the police department and the state's attorneys and the mayor really aren't concerned about getting guns because it was weak prosecution of a man that was selling guns out of Lexington Market, and that was a white man. And, of course, as I talked to some officers who said that they only have 5 people that's working on the gun task force, they got more people working on the Be Kind to Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual task force and the Hispanic task force than they do working on the gun task force, brother. So, you know, again, you have to look at where they put their power and where they put their money and their resources. Then you know where they really care. So as long as these guns are killing young blacks, then they really don't care because they won't up the reward on top of that. So I would challenge the Lance Lucas and others to set up a separate fund so that if somebody is killed in the city of Baltimore, or don't say is, but when they're killed, because if you